Wow, it's looking pretty good in here, I gotta say. Today I'm going to be working on the rear doors, and I'm working on these today because I threw out my back a couple days ago, and the doors open up out here so I don't have to do a whole lot of awkward bending or anything, so it'll be an easy project to get done while I recover. And otherwise, the van build's looking pretty good. We're not totally there, but I can probably count on my fingers the number of things I have left to do. Although one of those things is what I'm calling the kitchen hutch, which has to be like 15 different things. So still a good amount of work to go. For the doors, I'm just going to try to insulate them the best I can. A lot of people use this space for storage, and I don't really see it being a super functional storage space in my build. I'm going to put some flip out tables here, and if I want to make this a storage space later on, I can. So, oh, and one more thing. If you'll notice this, I very lightly release this door and it shuts and closes completely. But if I do the same thing on this side, it just stops. And even if you give it a little bit of a push, it'll stop before it shuts. So I think what's going on is this hinge down here is bad. It's got some rust on it, and I've tried dousing it with WD-40 and that doesn't seem to help. So I know a lot of you who watch my channel have transit connects of your own, and my inclination was just to bolt a big handle here so I can slam the door from the inside and not worry about it, but I'd love to hear if anyone thinks that's a bad idea and if I should replace that hinge or if I have something else going on. I'm kind of afraid to mess with the door because it does close and seal pretty well. So, but you really have to slam it to shut it, which I don't love. So, actually the first thing I'm going to do is install these. They're called like fold down shelf hinges, and how they work is they just flip up, automatically lock in place, and then when you're done with them, it takes a little finagling, but they flip back down. So, pretty simple mechanism. It's kind of big for the door here, and the whole thing is going to have to fit underneath my bed. So I think I might have to trim off the ends here. And I'm actually going to install these first and build like a little tabletop and install it first and just test fit everything. And then once I have this installed, I'll pack in the insulation around it and cover it with paneling. And the reason I'm doing that is because this needs to mount directly to the metal because I just don't have a whole lot of clearance and I want it to be as slim on the door as possible. So it makes sense to get this critical piece test fitted and installed first. At least I think so. Okay, so what we're doing here is putting some resin on these flip-up tables so that we have a good food-safe surface for prepping meals and stuff. And it's a lot lighter than a countertop, so that's why we're doing it. Also, I like to ignore directions when I'm doing something for the first time so that I learn from my mistakes. And for this epoxy resin, you're not supposed to put it over any oil-based products. And I used oil-based stain on this plywood, so we're gonna see what happens. Resin. So yeah, the doors are done. Rather than taking everything apart, I just finished this with some boiled linseed oil, and then I have 1/2 inch of extruded polystyrene behind this panel, and then the rest is just insulated with sheep wool. And then I epoxy resined this table, and there are a few pock marks in it. I think it's from dust, but overall it came out really well. So I'm pretty happy with that. And yeah, this should be a good prep surface. And eventually I'm going to have my stove back here, so I'll be able to stand out here, chop up some veggies, and cook while standing outside of my van. So that's the idea anyway.